I looked this weekend at Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes getting beat 53-7 by Utah. And Utah's a good team, you know, borderline top 25, lower back end of the top 25. It's a good team. 53-7. 53-7 in what is this? Is this year 3? This is year 3 of Deion at Colorado. He was putting this great turnaround together. He's the greatest coach in the world. He should be the Cowboys coach. He should be the Dolphins coach. He should be Penn State's coach. He should be Notre Dame's coach. He should be everybody. Alabama, Florida State, everywhere. Deion should be the coach. They're headed towards, I believe, another 4-8 season. They still get to play West Virginia, and West Virginia is one of the worst teams in a power conference, one of the worst teams in Division I football, in my view. They get to play West Virginia. They should beat West Virginia, but there's no guarantee of that. They finish with Arizona, at West Virginia, Arizona State, and at Kansas State. They're not going to beat Arizona State or Kansas State. They have an outside shot at beating Arizona. This smells like 4-8 all over again. This smells like all the shine is coming off prime time. And it was a rebuilding year. They lost Shedeur and Travis Hunter. Man, teams are rebuilding in a transfer portal cycle. This isn't the old days where it takes 5 years to rebuild a program, or even 3 years to rebuild a program. All it takes is one off season and enough money spent in the transfer portal, and voila, you have a team that can contend for a conference title. It's not going to happen here. Deion Sanders is who I thought he was and who I said he was. And the reason I'm celebratory of this is because Deion sets a bad example. He leads through racial idolatry. He leads through a victimhood mentality. I'm going to connect Deion's failure to Mike Tomlin's lack of success here in the last decade. He hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. They go out and sign Aaron Rodgers. They go out and get DK Metcalf, and nothing has really changed in Pittsburgh. This is looking like another 9-8, 10-7, back into the playoff football team. And the only reason why they're going to back into the playoffs is because Cincinnati and the injury to Joe Burrow, and Baltimore and the injury to Lamar Jackson. If not for that, Pittsburgh would probably most likely miss the playoffs entirely. And there's still a chance, even with the Bengals giving away a game and all that, there's still a chance of them missing the playoffs. And I'm connecting these guys because they have a black burden. There's a burden that goes along with being a black coach. And I'm comparing Deion and Tomlin to Todd Bowles and Marcus Freeman because I think Todd Bowles and Marcus Freeman have a different mentality than Deion and Mike Tomlin. And they've been treated differently than Deion and Mike Tomlin. I don't think Deion and Mike Tomlin share the exact same attitude. Deion definitely loves to play the race card. Deion definitely sees himself as a victim. Deion definitely wants to be a race soldier. But what goes on with these high-profile coaches like Deion and Mike Tomlin, they're lathered in so much over-the-top praise. They're lathered in so much idolatry and people rallying around them and people excusing any and everything about their coaching that it undermines their success. It as it relates to Deion Sanders, we crowned this man after a, what was it? Was it a 9-3 season last year or 8-4 season last year? And people are running around pretending like Deion Sanders has set the world on fire. From Skip Bayless to Shannon Sharp to Stephen A. Smith, everybody, and these are the black guys, but the white folks, the white reporters did it too. Deion Sanders won a few. It started year one, even when he went 4-8, but he started out kind of hot, I think 3-1, and everybody was acting like Deion Sanders was the greatest gift of coaching, and he's not. It's embarrassing and undermining the level of praise that's been lathered on Deion Sanders. Coaching and competition and athletics in general, it's best played and it's best performed, it's best executed by people with a desperate mentality to prove themselves. Deion Sanders doesn't have that desperation because he can get all the accolades, he can get all the money without putting in the same level of effort as other coaches. They've been running around with Deion Sanders on these Affleck commercials with Nick Saban as if Deion Sanders is the second coming of Eddie Robinson. Deion skipped over everybody. And next thing you know, he's right next to Nick Saban. Here, Nick Saban, the gold standard in college football coaching, and he's been paired with Deion Sanders. Based on what? Winning 10, 11 games at Jackson State? Based on what? I mean, because this happened his first year at Colorado. Next thing you know, Deion Sanders is being paired alongside. Maybe it was even while he was at Jackson State being paired alongside the gold standard of college coaching. He hadn't proven that, and he never will because he's not on that level, but we gave him all the rewards as if he had. And now look up, we're going to have, in my view, 2 4-8 seasons at Colorado and 1 9-4 season. I think Deion will back out and retire and move on to other things. But if he did come back, trust, it will not get better. It will only get worse. And it won't just be Deion to blame, because he's had a bunch of co-conspirators. He's had a bunch of people that have gassed him up and led him to believe that he can do no wrong. He's never been held to a standard. He gets to pretend like, oh, I faced all this animosity and resistance during my pro career. No one's ever liked. That's all garbage and a lie, and it's completely made up. Deion has been worshipped since his days at Florida State, and he's been worshipped through his playing career, and his athletic talent was so immense that it didn't matter his attitude when he was a player. But your attitude matters as a head coach because your attitude permeates the rest of the team. And Deion has poisoned the environment at Colorado. Something isn't right. The motivation, the pressure, the tension. Again, it's like if you want to fry some bacon, you got to turn that heat way up. And I like bacon. We're not turning up enough heat on Deion Sanders and Mike Tomlin, and that's why the bacon's no good. The heat is on Todd Bowles. The heat's on Marcus Freeman. The bacon's better. There's a burden to being black in America that black people have participated in and helped create. The removing of standards, the lowering of standards is crippling black Americans. And you can see it in football. You can see what's happening at Colorado with Deion Sanders, where he was anointed and appointed and celebrated as this great coach, even though it hadn't been earned, and now we're seeing the proof of it.